Wow, using a camera is so fun, but why can't I take good pictures, I wonder?
Are you curious as to why your pictures can look as good as the ones in magazines?
Eh? Where'd they come from? Who are you?
Who am I? Does it matter? I'm here to help you take good pictures. That's all. And are you in or not?
Sure, I guess.
Well, for starters, what do you know about cameras?
That they're for taking pictures?
I mean, that's not wrong, but even different cameras have different ways to take pictures. The one you're holding right now is a digital camera, or what is more commonly known as the DSLR. I will save you the boring explanation, but other than DSLR cameras, there are also mirrorless, analog, Polaroid, single use, and also many other cameras.
Wow, I never realized there are so many. But why are there so many in the first place?
Well, each one has their pros and cons, but generally speaking, all cameras used to be analog, which meant that it took light and directly burned it into some sort of medium, such as film. Nowadays, most cameras are digital, which means that the light that enters the camera is detected by a sensor that converts it into pixels on a screen, which can then be converted into binary data or lines of codes.
Technology these days is really something else, huh? But where does the light come from in the first place?
Well, a digital camera can mainly be split into two sections, the body and the lens. Lenses also vary, but they can be identified and grouped through their millimeter range. A millimeter range is a metric which affects how much or how little a camera can zoom. What types of lenses can go with which camera bodies also vary by a lot, so make sure to do proper research before buying a body and a lens. On top of that, we also have fixed lenses with a fixed millimeter, which means that you can zoom in while using this lens. Fixed lenses are not very adaptive, but they come with the trait of having better image clarity and out-of-focus features. We also have telescopic lenses which have a very large zoom, usually used by wildlife photographers which can't get too close to the subject of the image. Well, you'd be surprised to know that the body does a lot more than the lens. First up, there is the ISO setting. It adjusts how sensitive the camera sensors are. The higher the ISO, the more sensitive it is.
Which means?
Which means that it receives more light at the cost of more noise and color saturation. It is optimal only in places with little light.
Right, and what does this dial do?
That is the shutter speed dial. That dial tells the camera how fast or how slow the sensor opens. The higher the shutter speed means that the camera receives less light, but the image it captures will have little to no motion blur. It's like the subject is completely frozen in time.
I get it now. So it means a camera with low shutter speed is not good for capturing fast-moving objects.
Correct. The last most commonly known use dial is the aperture dial. The aperture dial sets how much or how little light that the camera allows to hit the sensor.
Wait, I've heard of this one before. The higher the aperture, the less light it takes, but it makes the subjects more discernible and gives more blur to parts out of the focus.
Correct. A high aperture can create a better bokeh effect, but a low aperture means that you can take brighter images. These three dials are essential to master in order to take magazine-worthy pictures.
Why is that?
Because with these dials, you have absolute control over how your pictures will look. Well, for example, if you want to take a picture of a certain subject being highlighted or set a focus on it, you can increase your zoom and aperture, resulting in what's called an image with a short depth of field, where specific subjects are more detailed and focused over the other. On the other hand, if you need a picture with a wide range of focus, you can decrease both the zoom and aperture of your cameras. On the other hand, if you need a picture with a wide range of focus, you can decrease both the zoom and aperture of your cameras.
And this setting is great for group pictures or sceneries and views.
Hey, it seems like you're getting the hang of this. Now, can you explain the difference between these two images?
Let's see here. These images have a lot of motion blur, which means it is most likely taken with a low shutter speed. It is also a great way to distort light and indicate that the subject is moving fast, while this series of images have no motion blur, which means that they are taken using a fast shutter speed, perfect for sport and wildlife photography.
You got it down to a T. Looks like I'm not needed here anymore. Well, good luck, and remember to keep taking pictures.
Wow, thank you, whoever you are.